Welcome to the Beyond with your host, Midnight Society.
Yeah, and we got fill it up.
There you go. Ooh. I don't look like that anymore.
The cheetah looks very handsome.
The cheetah looks the same.
It never fails to amuse me how good the cheetah looks. Mary Wilson is here with us today. Yay! Representing the IFC Midknights. Woohoo! Yeah. We brought firepower to this show, kids. And we're gonna need it. Because this is a bonkers movie. Hi Betty. Hi June. Hi Vanessa. There's wow. And Betty's up there, and I think our good friend Cass came in earlier. So I don't know if she's here now, but I know she acknowledged us by throwing us some love and a hug. So we're gonna say thank you so much for Cass Love for doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. Charles is here too.
And Al's got some new equipment he's working on. He's floating. Yeah. Our good friend Sean Blue Digital, who just dropped his I have to ask you a question, Sean. You dropped your 800 sub contest, but you're closer to 900. He's at 857, but he's dropping to 8. He's doing an 800 sub contest, but he's at 900. I don't know if that's
yeah. That just means he's growing exponentially.
He's just flying. Sean Blue Digi is flying. I think he will hit 1,000 before the year's out. Right. I definitely think. He's closer to 900, but 800 was never acknowledged. Hi Michael.
Hey man.
Welcome. We are talking about the second film of Fulci's death trilogy, The Beyond. The Beyond. Man, that's just a crazy movie. We'll get into it in a couple minutes. We'll just go ahead and let it. We'll do some fun here until everybody gets in here. Yeah, no problem, Sean. Sheesh, I'm gonna be as soon as we're done here. I'm doing my contest entry. What's really cool about this entry is that we actually have a chance to win something on this contest, because unless Hobbs wins 3 times, which is the possibility, because you know how Hobbs is.
I was just gonna ask: Is Hobbs not playing? Is that how?
No, he's playing. But Sean says he's got 3 prizes out, and I'm going like, well, you know, it all depends how many entries we all get. If we have like 3 entries apiece, like if we do your contest entry and you give it into Sean, and he says, okay, you get 3 entries, then we might not win at all, because Hobbs could probably win all 3. But I think, yeah, that's what. Mary, you want to answer that question? Because you asked that to me. You asked that earlier. Charles is sitting there going like, there are 7 doors.
Why are there 7 a movie per door? Right. I would keep going. Why stop at 3?
That is a very viable question, and I would like to answer that as well.
Someone needs to continue it.
See, Sean mentions The Beyond has the best plot holes ever. Life-size plot holes, but it rules. Oh yeah, this movie is bonkers.
Totally agree, Sean. Totally agree.
Yeah, this movie makes 0 sense at all. But there are some I did when we're doing our research and poking around and whatnot. They did mention a few things. God, I tell you one thing. Someone went to town on the movie database page for this movie. Oh, look who's here.
Yeah.
Hobbs is entering 3 times. Okay, Sean, I was going to do the contest, but now that I know Hobbs is going to enter it, so. Oh, 1 video for 1 entry. See, he doesn't like the multiple entries on the wheel because some people get multiple entries. Yeah. What movie are you going to pick, Hobbs? I give him so much hard time about winning all the time. But yeah, I was looking at the movie database page for this movie, and somebody went to town on it and dropped a whole hell of a lot of trivia on there. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of stuff in there I haven't even heard of before as far as trivia wise go.
Most of the trivia came from this release.
Yeah. You got the commentary, right?
Super duper. Yeah, this has like everything on it, and it's awesome.
Well, they did have one little piece of trivia on there that I read that we'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, I mean which who put that out? Vinegar Syndrome or
Grindhouse Releasing?
Which one?
Grindhouse Releasing.
Oh, Grindhouse.
Yeah, it's two Blu-rays and the soundtrack. Yeah.
Man, that's a really
loaded. The special features have their own disc.
That's a really nice set.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. And I got it fairly cheap for what it is.
See. Sean saying American Werewolf in London was released on this day. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Welcome to the 100 Lamb.
Is my sound bad? Let me know, guys, because I can.
Yeah, your sound is really. It sounds like you're underwater.
Yeah. All right. Let me see what I can do.
I like my tea. I like people like I like my tea. In a bag, underwater. Oh.
Right. How about now? Do I sound better?
You like that one? Yeah. All right.
How's my sound now, guys? Does it sound a little bit better?
A little better.
A little better. June says you're well, at least she didn't say you didn't sound like a tea bag, so that's good.
That's funny.
Says low but better. Yeah, this is a new setup for this is a new setup for you, right? You know what's in here, right?
Iced tea.
You know, if it was, I'd be dead right now. No, it's coffee.
Iced coffee?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got. Me too.
Coffee is our friend. Let's see. Sean says, oh, see, Sean's talking trash now. He says it's the Saints hat. That's why we can hit. So we can't. Oh snap! Oh, here it comes.
I'm wearing this because The Beyond was filmed in New Orleans. That's why I'm wearing it.
True.
Yeah.
Let's see. John's got peach flavored moonshine and marijuana plant. Oh God. Well, you know what though? He does watch the Eagles, so he can't. You got to give him. You got to give him that.
And technically,
that all sounds good.
Technically, this is not a Saints hat because it's not the official logo, so it's just a fleur de lis.
You know what I found out before we get going here? Before I found out, I told this to Hobbs. I was surprised at. I went because I was watching this on Tubi, and I was poking around at Tubi because they had a ton of old horror pop up, and then they have sports. And I clicked the NFL button, and lo and behold, what they were replaying a game. They were replaying the Super Bowl, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know could do that. I thought that was just NFL, NFL.com. yeah, so I got to watch some of the Rams and Bengals Super Bowl because I never got to see it last year because I don't have the TV. So and I don't have streaming or anything like that. So I wasn't able to watch any of the Super Bowl. I just watched it through ESPN through their updates. So it was good to watch. It was good to watch. The champions of this year will be the Bengals, and then the Rams from last year. All right. So last week we talked about the Gates of Hell or the City of the Living Dead, and that was the first film of Fulci's trilogy. So that movie came out and did pretty well. Obviously, all three of these films are cult films. The second film that he decided to do was of course The Beyond, and wow, what a mind-blowing movie this is. This is absolutely crazy movie. And it definitely, and like Sean mentioned earlier, it has a lot of plot holes. But honestly, who cares? Because this movie's just that crazy. I loved it. This is my favorite of the two so far. Now I have to admit I have not seen House by the Cemetery, so that will be a first time watch, and I've heard that is very very good.
Yeah.
Some people, I mean, now a lot of people have actually said that
like
if you talk, depending on who you talk to, each of the three movies in the trilogy are that person's favorite. Like The Beyond is my favorite. I liked it, even though the first one had Christopher George in it, and I like Christopher George. I thought The Beyond was a little bit more. I thought The Beyond was a little bit more intense. I thought it was more interesting and just weird. It's just absolutely weird. Which who doesn't love that? So this movie actually came out, and this is interesting. And this is the first part of our small trivia. Is after the Gates of Hell came out, Fulci had worked with a distributor, and he was a little bit bummed by them. He didn't want to work with them because they had stuffed zombies. They had changed. They have stuffed zombies in the Gates of Hell, and it caused a fiasco with his movie Zombie being tied to Dawn of the Dead, and he didn't want that because it was a blowback against him. So he wanted to go a different direction. So he actually came and worked with a German production company, and he says, I don't want to do that. But of course, the German company said that, listen, right now zombies are white hot, so you got to put some zombies in there. Now, it wasn't initially planned for that way. So one of the plot holes, it wasn't. It was one of the ending is just so weird because it goes from like 0 to 100 in a heartbeat, and there's no explanation. Not really. And because Fulci only had planned for one zombie, and we'll talk about that. But the company said, listen, if you put zombies in the end of the movie, put them in the movie, whatever else you want to do, you can do. And so he went with it. And that's one of the first plot holes. I have to mention this because it showed too that Fulci actually cared about his image, his reputation. I don't think he really particularly liked the fact that he got blown up in the press about the zombie movie, being tied in Dawn of the Dead, like you ripped off Romero, you're putting it as a sequel to it. It just wasn't a good look. So that's what happened for that. Now, this movie came out in 1981, and where was it filmed at, Al?
It was filmed in a couple of different places in Louisiana. It was filmed in New Orleans. It was filmed in a place called Mandeville, which is on the other side of that big lake that you see in Louisiana. It's on the north. It's on the north side of that. And yeah, so mainly those two places. And I can tell you when we talk about certain scenes, I'll tell you where they were shot.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So this movie kicks off in 1927. The year is 1927, and it's in a hotel in New Orleans.
In sepia tone.
Huh?
In sepia tone.
I can hear.
Yeah, the brown. It's not black and white. It's
sepia.
Sepia. Yeah. It's brown and white.
So we have there's a artist who's working there, and he's staying in room 36. That's important. He's staying in room 36, and he's working as a painter. He's a painter, but he's also a suspected warlock, and so he's working on different paintings, including one hellish painting that will, the key to the movie. And so he's working, but there's a lot of people that are really scared of him, and so because he's living in the and this is something too. The hotel is actually called the Seven Doors Hotel, which was interesting considering that there's seven gates of hell, and so he's living and working at the Seven Doors Hotel in New Orleans, and his job is to actually protect. To guard, he's a guardian of one of the gates of hell. Now, this is really sort of trippy if you think about it, because here you go. Here you got this artist, and you got this self-acclaimed warlock. He's guarding one gate, and then last movie, The Gates of Hell, we had Father Thomas of Catholic priests guarding the second gate or the first gate. I really wish they would have. Really wish they would have explored that a little bit more. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, definitely. I know Fulci's not known for his storytelling per se. He's more about the visuals and all these weird, creepy things. Like he's all about atmosphere. But yeah, I would definitely like a little more explanation, and like we said before, why aren't there 7 movies? There should be 7 separate movies.
Yeah, it's a really good. That's a really good question. I mean, it's something that. I mean, we definitely have to. I mean, he did. Hey Cal. He wasn't adverse to doing sequels. He actually did another zombie movie too after this. And there's actually another movie he did that I have not seen. I saw pop up on Twitter on the Tubi that I hadn't heard of, but it sort of looked like that. It sort of looked like it could have went with the Gates of Hell series, and it was called Demona. And when I read the description of it, it was about witches that had come back, and I'm going like, okay. I wonder if that is something that did he try to do that movie as one of the Gates of Hell movie? I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to, because I want to see if he even mentions or even alludes to the Gates of Hell or the Beyond. But no, I don't know. But I wish he had, because it's a great premise.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this one they have the book of, was it Ibon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then in the City of the Living Dead, it's the book of Enoch.
Yeah, Enoch or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a different book for every movie too, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so
I guess
for every gate too. Every gate has its book.
Right. It had its own set of rules, didn't it? You're right.
And
it had its own guardian, and it had its own, and it had its own way of defending the gate. It made more sense though for Swybeck to be a guardian than it did for Father Thomas. That's the one thing. It goes the Gates of Hell, and and you're supposed to be, I mean, it seemed to be more. It seemed to be more. Make more sense to have because it's having the warlock guard the gate than the Catholic priest. Hi, Ava. Ava's in the house. Thank you for coming in. We're talking about the Beyond. So the artist Swybeck's in the hotel. He's in his room. He's the guardian. Of course, we already know that if these gates get open, all life on Earth, as we know it, will be destroyed. We saw that in the gates of hell. Now we're seeing that reinforced here in the Beyond. So I think he did try to put some connection between the two movies. There are similar plot lines. Yeah. Anyway, a lynch mob grabs his ass and and take him down to the basement. Mary, you want to take us to the basement and tell us what happened to the Mr. Swybeck?
Hey, give him a whipping. Keep whipping him and give him a nice crucifying. And then I don't know what they pour on him, but it starts to melt him. I don't know if it's wax or what do you think it is?
Oh, what they threw on him?
Acid? Yeah, is it acid?
Yeah, it was acid.
Okay.
Shoot, I know the type of acid it is too. It's because people use it. It just
dissolves them up.
It's on top of it's in the back of my head. If I mention it, I'll it was definitely acid. It's like sometimes people will put bodies in there and they'll pour it over it. It's supposed to destroy the whole body. But yeah, they first they make first they put him they crucify him.
Yes.
Yeah.
They crucified him and whipped him over and over and over. Yeah, there he is.
Let's see.
But there, I think he's in the bathroom now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You would have thought instead of just hanging around like that, you would have thought he would have tried to get out of there.
Since he's a warlock.
Yeah, you would think. But that was a really brutal scene, though, huh? I mean,
that first whack right across the face was a good one. Very first hit. Yeah.
Yeah. It was sort of it was disturbing. Exactly. It wasn't just like they're going to beat him up and run him out of town, or even tar and feather him, which could have been happening about that same time, I guess, or toward the end of it, at least in the Deep South anyway. But
that's why that one guy was sweating his ass off when they come running through. He was downstairs and he was sweating.
That was probably not makeup.
No. Yeah, here comes all these guys and torches and Jesus.
Yeah, they definitely came for him, and they didn't. I think they knew. I think they suspected that he was more than just a painter. I think that obviously they suspected that he was a witch. So they put him up there. They crucified him, and to me, it's like, okay, you made your point. Twice, maybe 3 times if they did his feet. You made your point about like get out of town. But the fact that they just cold-bloodedly killed him, and we understand now why he did what he did. Whereas in the Gates of Hell, Father Thomas killed himself, but we never knew why he did it. We never understood. It was never explained in the first movie why he did it.
He was a priest and he was a guardian of hell, and he kind of was like.
Well, I mean, yeah, and he killed himself, but there's no reason. Shaw says Plumber Joe's life mattered. Plumber's lives matter. Joe got wasted.
Martha had the hots for him, I think.
I think.
You're giving me the eyeballs.
So the house that they use for the hotel is not in New Orleans. It's actually in Mandeville. Yeah. So I actually live about 20 minutes from there. So I've seen it in person. Yeah. It's located in a state park, so you have to pay to get in. And yeah, it's this big old house kind of in the middle of the park. It's weird. And the little canal that they rode in on, that's right in front of the house. Yep.
Is it still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It hasn't been open in a couple of years because they've been renovating it, and then COVID happened and all that, so it hasn't been open for like 3 or 4 years. Like to go in, like you used to be able to
Oh,
go
you
in.
can go in it. Oh, that's nice.
I think it's like $4 or $5. You can go in it and go
That's
check
cool.
it out. Yeah.
Pops is sitting there saying he paid $120 for this movie with the collector tin. It's probably it probably is. It probably is. If it's in good shape, it'd probably be worth 3 times as much money now among the collectors.
And the other thing is that in Southeast Louisiana, we don't have basements.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was going to ask you about the basement part because of how low level New Orleans is underneath sea level.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I don't know if you really want. I don't know if you really want a basement. Well,
that's why it's filled up with water.
Yeah,
very true.
I mean, like a river was running. It wasn't just a leak either. It was a whole damn near river.
Yeah, this is a small leak.
Yeah. Don't got his trusty red box. I'll go down there and knock that out. He walked down there and the water's up to his knees. And I was just sitting there watching him. I was watching the actor doing that scene. The only thing I could think of was, holy shit, how are they lighting him up? And it's like, I don't know if I walk around with so much water around electrical equipment, because they're filming. It's like, I'm not so sure I want to be there with, the lights and the cameras and all that other shit. There's too much electricity around here. I'm not really feeling that.
Yeah.
See, T. Betty says, nope, we're thinking no basements. 9 feet, New Orleans, 9 feet below sea level.
Yeah.
Man.
And, the 10 set is worth a Fig Newton and a Mento now.
Yeah. So New Orleans is 9 feet below sea level. When I go anywhere, like if I travel north or even east or west, like everything is way above the sea level that I'm used to. So my ears start popping immediately. Fun fact.
So they swipe back. They go ahead and they toss acid on him, and so he's doing his Wizard of Oz impersonation. I'm melting. So he dies horrible. That's one of the most brutal deaths. That's one of the most brutal deaths, and there's a lot of them in this movie. I mean, every death in this movie is a hard death. It is not easy.
No, not at all.
No. Fulci definitely upped his game when it came down to gore. The Gates of Hell was really strong, but the Beyond was beyond driven as far as gore goes. So they kill him for practicing his witchcraft. So they're all scared of him, so they kills him.
Then they flash forward to 1981 all of a sudden.
That's right. Well, yeah, right before this happens, as it's happening, we see this a wide-eyed woman read from the ancient that book. Yeah. So she's reading from the book, and saying that because Swiebeck died, one of the gates of hell has now been opened. Or will be open. She said that prophesied, she was foretelling that this was going to happen because they killed him. Now the gate's unguarded. So now we're in 1981, and we meet our heroine of the movie, Liza, who's played by the lovely Katarina McCall. Who was definitely one of Fulci's favorites, but she was not the first person that he wanted to cast in this movie. He wanted to cast Tisa Farrell, but she had retired, so he went back and got his second girl, which was Katrina, and she played Liza. Al, what do you want? You want to take us through the what Liza won in life? She won something here, or she inherited.
She inherited the lovely Seven Doors Hotel.
That's what you want. Yeah, that's not located in Louisiana.
Well, it's in Louisiana, but it's not in New Orleans. It's about a good 35, 40 minutes away from Louisiana, from New Orleans, I should say.
Can you guys hear the storm that's going on? I got a big storm.
Ooh.
It's
the
lost my ear. There you go.
Maybe it's one of the gates.
Yeah, that's every day here then. It's Florida. One of the gates of hell is always open here.
I think it's safe to say that Florida is one of the gates of hell.
I think so. It can be as hot as, and there can be just as many people.
I'm trying to think of the 7 states that we could consider the gates of hell in America. Florida,
apparently Louisiana.
Florida, huh?
Apparently Louisiana.
Louisiana. How about Texas?
Sure, it's nice and hot.
Yeah.
Well, House about Cemeteries in Pennsylvania, so maybe.
Well, that's nice.
Hobbs is saying Ohio is one of the gates of hell. He's right. I mean, let's look at the Bengals, look at the Reds, look at okay, that's enough of that.
Maybe it's a Gulf Coast gate. Yeah.
Oh no. I'll keep an eye on it.
Come in. I didn't even see Andre come in. Hey, Andre, how are you? So what did Liza end up inheriting?
The old hotel, and she wants to fix it up so she can get some people to come and stay. So she's got some people up on the scaffolding fixing stuff. I don't know what they're fixing, but they're up on the scaffold.
Yes.
Right.
In a window.
Yeah, she comes there and she, she's got, she's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. She's got big hopes and dreams, and she sees the people on the scaffolding.
Hey, Larry! Larry's up there. Hey, Larry!
Yeah, Larry was happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
But then Larry sees something.
And then he goes.
He sees a white-eyed woman, sort of like Father Thomas. It's like Father, like in the first movie in Gates of Hell, they see Father Thomas, and they react to it. And it's the same thing that happens here. He sees this woman, scares him, and he falls off the scaffolding. And the only thing I could think of right there was, well, there's workman's comp right there. Because he gets whacked. He falls down, and he's just like, and it's like. And they did everything wrong for this guy for Larry.
You got a neck injury. Let's pick you up. Grab his legs.
Yeah, even though you're bleeding heavily through the mouth, let's pick you up and put you on the couch and talk. Let's not call the ambulance. Let's just talk to him a little bit, and then we'll call our local doctor. I mean, he's like, even though he's bleeding all over the couch and the floor.
Martha will clean it up.
Hi, Jim. How are you? As you know, we are talking, Jim. We are talking about the Beyond. That scene was a little weird. That was a little weird. They put him on the couch. They're talking with him, and he's sitting there, and he's talking back, and he's bleeding through his mouth. And you're going like, okay, that's just some bonkers right there.
But if we had some water, it would make everything better.
If he has some tea.
Yeah, he needs that.
Something.
Well, anyway, local doctor. I guess the guy who was on the call there, Dr. McCabe. He comes over, and then he takes Larry, the worker, to the hospital. So then Liza goes back inside the hotel, and then but room 36's bell starts ringing. Now room 36.
And the plumber's got to get there first, don't he? Then Joe, the plumber, got to come check it out.
Well, no, because Arthur was there with her first.
Oh, the little thing went ringing, huh? Okay, yeah, you're right. Then Joe showed up.
Yeah, because but Liza, she dismisses the bell. She doesn't really take it. It's just like she thinks it's one of the many things going wrong. And then we see Joe the plumber get here. All right, let's everybody give it up for Joe the plumber.
Yeah.
Joe, man. Joe's the man.
Joe's the
he was there.
Movie.
He's willing to tackle that job.
That's right. And he was ready for it too. He got out of his truck. He had that mighty big toolbox of his ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
What's the password to the gates of hell?
New England clam chowder.
There you go.
Let's see, the gates of hell. I don't know. That's a good question, Sean.
So I actually do have a couple of fun facts during all of this craziness. So the guy that plays Larry ended up being one of Fulci's guys on this movie because he spoke Italian. So Fulci spoke no English at all. So he was always translated through Larry. And Larry also helped find a bunch of locations for them to shoot as well. Yeah.
Good job.
And
They should have took Larry to the hospital a lot faster.
I know, especially when I knew Italian.
The head injury did good.
Yeah.
How do you say in Italian? Get my ass to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So we see Joe come in, and Joe's got the. Honest to heaven, when he jumped out of his truck, I didn't know if that was a toolbox or a lunchbox. I mean, it was so small. And then Joe walks in. He meets Liza. Then he sparks up the smoke. Like, he didn't even ask. He's just like, I'm firing it up right here. He just, he starts talking. He says, yeah, I can take care of this little problem. I can go ahead and take care of it. Where's the basement at? And it's just like, we know differently. We know what Joe's facing. So then Joe heads down to the basement. Now, when do you think that Joe would have, what was the first clue that this is going to be more than Joe can handle?
When Martha come up and said, I made a path for you.
Because he was up to his knees in that water.
Yeah, it's like, I made this for you, a little bridge, just for Joe. Okay.
Let's see. Sean says he believes that COVID-19 was created in the Beyond basement. Hell yeah, that's a legit theory. I can go with that, Sean. So here he is. He's still got that small lunchbox, and he takes out his trusty hammer, and then he's up to his knees in water, and he's like, okay, his water's coming out. You see where it's coming out. Why not go back out there and go like, oh hell no, or I'm gonna need a wet vac here. Let me run down to the depot to get one. But he brings out a hammer. he brings out a hammer and he starts hitting the walls. He's like, okay, like, what are you gonna do, Joe, if you discover that burst pipe or whatever you think? I mean, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna throw some duct tape around it or something? I mean, what's the plan
Flex
here?
seal. Put some Flex Seal on it. Flex Seal tape.
I was thinking, maybe he's gonna put some, maybe he's gonna put some Windex on it, or
Yeah, I don't know. But he was ready for the job.
see. Sean says he's been influenced to smoke a pipe because of Plumber Joe, the guy who can do nothing wrong. I don't know about that. I don't think Joe could ever do anything right. Vanessa says if people didn't do stuff in water here, then nothing would ever get done. Yeah, but at least they're gonna come ready for that. Like if you know that, instead of just bringing a trusty hammer and a lunch.
Get some waiters.
Yeah, well, you think that he would have some waiters at least, or at the very least, he could have done two things in one stroke. He could have found that burst pipe, and he could have set up a damn fishing pole. He could have caught himself some lunch and fixed the hole. But no, that's not Joe's operandi. So he goes ahead. So Joe goes ahead and he starts working on the basement, and the lack of the running water. That it's like, well, of course the lack of the running water. It's not running upstairs because it's all running down in the basement. So he goes ahead and he hits the hollow off area that they did in the first part of the movie, and he is the man that opens the gate. Joe inadvertently he breaks the seal. There's a seal there. He breaks it. He doesn't know it, but he breaks the seal to the gate. The gate had been even though Swybeck had died, the gate had been left intact. But Joe inadvertently broke the seal, and he opens the gates of hell. Then Joe is attacked by an unseen force, and he is blinded and he is killed. Yeah. So he is blinded and he's killed. He loses his eyeballs, and I mean that was violent. That's violent. I mean his whole face got rearranged.
Yep.
And then but Joe's body and then Swybeck's body are discovered by our another hotel employee, Martha.
Oh, Martha.
And of course, then they're taken to the local hospital. I guess they didn't want to put them on the couch to talk to him like they did Larry.
Well,
yeah, but and right after that, wasn't it all of a sudden she's up like in a car? That Liza's in a car, and then finding the blind lady. Like, what? Were you just down in the basement?
She was upstairs telling Joe where the basement was, and then he goes downstairs to fix. And then you're right. It's not like, hey Joe, I'm gonna be gone for a while, or if you need me, call me on my phone or anything. It was just like, I'm just gonna be driving.
Yeah. She told Arthur to go fix the chimney.
Hey, Sal Green, how are you? Glad you guys are here. Glad you're here. Phil's here. Phil's creepy vids.
So that bridge that she's driving on
looks like the Keys.
It's actually it's a bridge that's in between. It's on that big lake in between New Orleans and the North Shore. So it travels up that big giant lake that you always see in Louisiana. That's where it is. So they filmed it like in the middle of all of that. And I cross that thing about once a week. So I'm always on that bridge.
Have you ever run across it?
Always looking for blind ladies out there. You never know.
With their dogs. Have you met any blind ladies with their dogs?
Right.
You led her right to the street.
Yeah, look at that. Right in the middle of the freeway. Look at that. Man, I'm telling you.
That happens all the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It happens to me at least once a month. You know, at least.
What did you think when you first saw the blind lady, the blind girl?
He's just tripping.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure she was actually real. I thought maybe she was sort of like she was during when I was watching the movie, I thought she was some sort of like I didn't know what she was. I didn't know if she was real, or she was part of Liza's imagination, or what. Because it was so weird. Here she is, she's driving on the road, and there's nobody else with her on the freeway, and this suddenly pops up. And the way they filmed her is Liza didn't see her until the very last minute. It's like she's driving. It's like you would see somebody standing in the freeway a mile down the road, and you would adjust. But she was just driving the way she was driving. It's like she didn't see her until almost like literally the very last moment. And that's why I always got the impression that she was a spirit.
Well, she's also a really bad driver because she was driving in the middle of two lanes.
Right down the middle. Yes. I saw that.
Yeah.
Before the sensors.
The girl's name is Emily. And after they meet, of course, that's how they meet. They meet her on the freeway. It's Emily, her guide dog, Dickie. Dickie's the guide dog.
Dickie the dog.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Emily does something strange. She warns Liza that she can't reopen the hotel. Which me, if I'm Liza, I'm going like, for a blind girl, how the hell do you know this? How do you know that what I'm doing and where I'm doing it at, or how do you know me at all? As soon as someone blind says, don't open that hotel that you're planning to do so, I think I probably would have listened to her, because it's like, how the hell do you know that? And then she also tells her too. She says she tells her to go back to New York, and I don't believe Liza told her that at first. And this is not the first time either that someone has told her to give up opening up the hotel. The doctor also has told her to not open the hotel, but I think the doctor, the reason why he said it and the reason why Emily said it are two different reasons.
Don't they flash over to the autopsy room with the poor Joe's chest getting all sewn up? He has curly chest hair. Joe does. He's got Will Ferrell chest hair.
Okay, we brought the new Guardian in for the Gates of Hell.
There you go.
This is the star of the new movie Beast. This is the lion that they subbed in for Elvis.
Yes, I can tell. Rare.
So what did you think? How do you think if you're Liza and all of a sudden two different people from two different areas are telling you not to open up the hotel, what's your reaction going to be to that? I mean, don't you think that would have just been a little weird, a little bit too coincidental?
She says she doesn't believe in ghosts, right?
Right.
So,
but I definitely would have. I definitely would have looked into it more. I think.
Yeah.
At least.
Especially from the stranger, who's telling me things about myself that she has no business knowing. Mm-hmm. I've never seen her before. I don't know who she is. Yet she knows all about me, and she's blind on top of that. And it's like that was just a really good effective scene.
It was a dead skunk on his chest.
Let's see. John saying the chest hair is actually just a dead skunk laying on his chest. I think so too.
Hey, you know, budget.
Uh,
Gotta meet the budget.
let's see. Liza wannabe plumber. Yeah, I'm sure she can lay pipe. All right. So anyway, and then after she gets warned, and then John tells her, the doctor tells her to give up the project, but Liza refuses because this is her only shot. You know, she has to. This is something that she's gonna have to do. Otherwise, she's gonna have to go on the relief. The relief? I was thinking of what that was. You know, maybe she's talking about going on the welfare, but I'm like, no, I think she has a little bit more money than that. I mean, you know, she could at least sell the property.
That's what
But
I would do.
That's what she says. She says it was her only chance, and if she failed, she would have to go on the relief. And this is her only chance of making money in her life, you know, because she inherited this hotel. She's gonna make it work. Well, and then later on, who comes and visits Liza at the hotel?
What part are you at?
Yeah, I know, right? Fulci.
Wait, which time? Emily, right?
Yeah, Emily. Emily comes and she visits Liza at the hotel. And again, it's like, how do you know how do you know this? But she knows the hotel. She knows how to get there. She gets there with her dog, Dickie. And then she proceeds to tell a complete stranger in Liza the history of the of Swerk and Room 36.
Yeah.
And that was it's like, okay, you're telling a story about to a woman who the only interest she has is to get the hotel up and running, and then you're coming in here and telling her a ghost story. And she also mentions Room 36, and I think that's where Liza starts in the back of her head. I think that's when it started connecting a little bit, because Room 36 was the only one that had went off. The bell had went off, and they've had, there's all sorts of, on there. So then as that happens, and then she finds a painting. Emily finds a painting, and she's using her hands to feel the canvas. But when she's doing this, the canvas causes her to it cuts her hands up, even though it's flat. It cuts off her hands, and then that scares her, and she runs out. And with Dickie. Now, did you notice something when she ran out?
Yeah.
Tell us what this was funny. What happened when she ran out?
It was like complete silence. There was no footsteps. No, it was like.
And she was the head of the dog. She didn't use the dog. She was the head of the dog. She ran right out, down the stairs. Yeah, that made me laugh. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good for a blind girl.
She hightailed it, man.
Like, holy cow, I can see.
It's a miracle.
Yes, the dog was behind her.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't touching the dog at all, and she wasn't running like they show blind people like trying to find their way out. No, she just ran straight down the stairs like she knew exactly where she was going.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Liza's closing her eyes, going, and she sees somebody else following her. I guess was that man's feet that were chasing her out the door.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Remember that part? Like they show her like a couple times running, and then all of a sudden they show her close her eyes, and she sees like somebody's feet. Yeah. It's almost like someone's chasing her out the door.
Yeah, very weird.
They had tan pants on. I don't know who the hell that is.
Well, Emily runs from the hotel. I mean, she's running. She's sprinting. No Dickie. Dickie's behind. And that's when Liza mentioned. That's when you said Liza notices that neither of them made any footsteps. And so again, it goes down to, it's like Liza is she really there? Is she a figment of Liza's imagination? Well, because because no one else sees her. Because she's standing in the middle of the freeway. You would think that before she got there, there have been people stopping the road to see her, but she didn't. And Liza didn't see her till the very last minute before she braked. So when you start to get the feeling that Emily is not here on this mortal plane, she's more she's the spirit.
Yeah, I can definitely see that for sure.
And then they got the autopsy of Joe and his wife dressing him. I guess that's an Italian thing too, maybe. Like
freaking weird. Yeah.
Like, here, let me cut the back of the shirt off and maybe put it on you that way. Huh? What? Oh, my dear sweet Joe.
The freeway. Yeah. But the freeway keeps throwing me off. Yeah. Hi, Anthony. How are you, sir? Glad you're here. Glad you're here.
Yeah, that whole thing with Joe's wife, that was so bizarre.
Oh.
Like she's dressing him, and this is in the morgue with all these other dead bodies, and it's just
they're hanging out. You got the one with the brainwave machine on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hook them up just for fun, just for shits and giggles.
And you had the daughter out there.
Yeah, and that the worst part of the whole movie is the cart coming down the hallway.
Yeah, that was.
I have mine on smart sound, but it's still. My husband heard that all the way out into the kitchen. He was like, "What in the hell is that?"
It's funny.
Turn it down.
It's funny, honey, you mentioned hell because that's what it is.
Indeed.
That's why it's noisy like that. Fingers on the chalkboard. Yes, his wife did drop acid. All of a sudden, she ends up on the floor and she's dropping acid. But the Alka-Seltzer must have been added to it, or Diet Coke and Mentos.
That was really. You know what's funny? It's like they didn't even show you really what happened. It's like
just ended up on the floor. Yeah.
Right. You hear her scream, and then the little girl comes in, and she doesn't run over and grab her mom. She just stands there and watches the acid fall on her face. It's like, okay, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to stand there and watch that. So, you know what I was thinking about? I'm thinking about maybe I'm thinking about God. I'm trying. What's going to bother me forever? The acid. Maybe that was sulfuric acid. That was probably corrosive acid, maybe. And what acid would you have? Why would that be in a hospital?
In an open container on the top shelf.
Yeah. Did anybody call OSHA about that?
Should have.
It wouldn't. I wouldn't put it past the hospitals in New Orleans to do that. But
yeah.
It didn't explain it. It would have been nice to see that explained to me because there's no explanation at all. It was like it was so weirdly chopped. You hear a scream. You go in the. It's not Joe. It's not the other. It's not Swybeck or Swear. It's not either one of them. They're still flat on the back. They're not moving or anything. It's like it never got explained to what happened. Did she have a slip and fall accident? Was she pushed? Was she possessed? Nothing. All of a sudden, it's like she got knocked down, and then that acid just happened to conveniently get spilled. And then
there's somebody in the room that the red-haired girl opens up the door, and he's like,
Yeah, that was her daughter. That was her daughter.
She's screaming some other guy completely different from the whole group.
Yeah. And next thing you know, it's like she's just standing there, and so her mom's body basically gets destroyed, much like the Warlocks.
Right. Right.
And that is a common theme too with the Warlock, is that when he kills anybody, he really brutally kills them. He's not looking for a quick death. He's making everybody's death really painful, and very gruesome. So they killed the mother, and it's terrible. That's a pretty gross scene. And the daughter's traumatized, and of course, so now she's lost her dad and her mom.
In very horrific ways.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, back at the hotel, Liza enters room 36 and discovers, what does she discover?
The Book of Avon.
That's right.
As well as Shrek, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
All crucified. Strike. Yeah.
Strike. Sounds like some of Hogan's Heroes. Strike, you'll be on the Eastern Front. Right, and the thing is, so again, it's and then she sees his corpse nailed to the wall. So she goes down and brings her buddy John up, the doctor, back up to room 36. But something has happened in room 36. What happened, Mary?
That's where he was cremated, or not cremated, crucified. Yeah. Well, that's what she sees anyway. She screams. She sees him stuck to the wall, but he was crucified in the basement, so she's seeing him there. Right,
that's right. Yeah. What did you think of that scene where she saw the book and then she saw the corpse? I mean, did you think that it was just all in her head that was what she was seeing, that we're going to be seeing this whole movie through her eyes, or did you actually think there was actually something there, like physically there, or is it just all in her head?
Probably, and she probably thinks it's all in her head. It's still scaring her though.
Yeah, that would scare me too. That would definitely disturb me.
Oh yeah. It's,
then John shows up, right after she finds the guy crucified. The doctor, McCabe, or Dr. John, and she tells him about the blind girl and stuff too. But he says, "You're crazy, lady." He says you might be seeing stuff. Maybe it's the lead in the paint.
John doesn't believe her. He's like, yeah, you're a little bit. You've had one too many hurricanes.
Paint chips, lead paint chips. Asbestos.
See Sean here saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that scene, Sean, in June." Hobbs says, "Everybody check out Anthony Chabot. He even sang Winkster. It was fantastic." That's right, Hobbs. June mentions that the acid kept pouring on her was never ending. Yeah, that was a never ending bottle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Man, I wish they had iced coffee cup like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Sean mentioned, they're talking about the spider. Okay, we're gonna go into the spider scene soon enough.
Oh yeah, the what is this? Her buddy or a real estate guy or something?
Yeah.
They were carte blanche, and stick to the plan. He's gonna go find the plans to the house at someplace, the library, I guess. Is that where he's going?
But that's what's mentioning about there's no commotion going on at the hospital. That's right, there wasn't. There was no commotion going on. It was much like and when Emily ran down the stairs, there was no noise, so it was all spiritual. That's pretty weird that you guys noticed that.
Well, John did get a call at the bar to come back to the hospital that something had happened, and that's when they found out about John's wife. And then they
Right.
were at the graveyard, and the little redhead shows her white eyes, her scrambled egg eyes.
Um, Sean mentions, imagine if Fulci actually had a real budget to work with. Yeah, I mean, if imagine him working today with a 40-50 million dollar budget. I have to sit there and say, I have to sit there and say this: of some of these films that need to be remade, and they're always talking about movies that have to remake, reboot it, or whatever. I would love to see this one get remade.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
I would love to see, the series expanded on.
Or more gates. Yeah, more gate
Yeah.
movies.
You got 4 more gates to work on. All right.
Yeah.
T. Betty says that they were on break. Yeah. And the girl becomes like Emily. Yes.
Well, when the guy's getting the plans, the lightning strikes when he's way up. The guy locks him in there too, and he goes to get the plans for the house, the hotel, and the lightning strikes and he falls off. It cracks his head major on the floor. Everybody's falling and hitting their heads. They're getting their eyes gouged out.
Right.
But then all of a sudden there's the spiders, and they start eating the heck out of them. That's the worst. You don't like the spiders.
It's always a good time.
Hey, Bones. Bones is here. Says sup Digi. Sean Blue Digi. Hey, Tatum. How are you? Tatum in the house. Let's see. Who else have I missed here? All right. Just want
Yeah, I
to
like
catch
the
up
low
with that.
budget. I like
Yeah.
the low budget to it too, though.
Yeah, I mean, you know what though? I mean, this is a series. I sort of equated this series as far as like the budget goes with like Phantasm. You know, this movie had a sort of a Phantasm feel to it. You know, with low budget, gory, and
Phantasm is brought to you by French's Mustard.
Yeah. I you know what though? I just really feel like that this movie got remade today. At least of the first 3 movies. For one thing, I'm not so sure. I mean, I could be wrong here. I guess I could. I'm not so sure they could do everything that they did back then. I think that they could probably do some violence, but I don't think they could put a drill in somebody's head, or show the brains. I mean, you can cut off somebody's head, but I don't think you can show their brain in today's world.
Show how smart they are.
Sean says he's actually seen a 35 millimeter print of The Beyond in the past. Yeah. How is your copy of your movie, Al? Is it pristine?
Oh yeah, mine's like really good. Like,
Okay.
super, like high quality. It looks. Yeah, they did a heck of a job on the restoration on this guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. He are Bones. There you go.
Oh yeah. Now get ready to show it the rest of the show.
Yeah. Here's the soundtrack that comes with it. Yeah.
Nice. So Liza enters room 36 and discovers the book, the Ebon book, and the Warlock's body.
Yeah. And then John comes, and then
of course the corpse and the book are gone. And even though Liza then tells John about meeting Emily, but
Right.
he is highly skeptical. He's not believing it.
because that house has been abandoned for a long time
That's
by
right.
the hospital.
Yeah, for 15 years. The house has been abandoned for 15 years. Meanwhile, that's where we're getting to we're heading in toward the licensed architect, the gentleman who is going to be rebuilding the house or the hotel
Right.
based on those floor plans. He visits the town's library, so he's not, And the thing is that now the attacks are happening outside the hotel. First we see the hospital, now we're seeing at the library. He's going to study the hotel blueprints, and it says the blueprints reveal almost like a secret area, and of course Martin doesn't understand that. But when he sees that, he goes, "Well, this is not supposed to be there." Then that's when he's mysteriously knocked off this ladder, and breaks his neck. That's why he couldn't move. He broke his neck.
Yeah.
I had to go back. I had to go back and watch that. It's like I went back there like 2-3 times. I'm like, why did he not get up? Because
And he felt pretty good though. He was way up there. So
yeah.
even if he didn't, and he would still be like, Jesus, my neck. Cracked his head open pretty good too.
Well, so he broke his neck, so he was already dying as it was.
Did you notice the librarian though?
Huh?
Did you notice who the librarian was?
Yes, that was Alfred Hitchcock.
Yep.
Who played the librarian?
Lucio Fulci.
That's right.
Yeah.
What did you think? What did you think of that scene, Al? I mean, did you think that scene worked?
I do. Well, funny enough, they filmed that scene in Rome. So.
Wow.
But yeah, I thought it was genuinely creepy, and yeah, I definitely.
Even without the spiders, I mean, the way they filmed it.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Nightmare fuel. And the thing about it, but you're right though. Didn't you tell me that they had trenches down in Louisiana?
Trenches.
We got big spiders here too, so I bet you he's got them there.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
We had a huge one in the house before. It was bigger in my hand.
Yeah.
Do you ever seen one of those Huntsman spiders in Australia? They're like this big
On TV, but luckily not in real life.
Yeah.
The plate, the bird eating spider.
I mean, if you look on YouTube and type in Huntsman spider, you'll see them. They're sitting up there on the wall. They're like that. They're that big around. Like, hell no.
That's a big nope for me. Nope.
But you know who still would actually go up there and kill it? Cats. Cats eat spiders.
Love Kitty, get it.
Joe and Joe the plumber.
Cats eat
Joe the
spiders.
plumber. He would kill this spider with his hammer and chisel.
Ooh.
Joe the plumber would kill it.
I don't know if his work. I'm not sure if his workcase would have. His toolbox would have been big enough for that spider.
Not for the one I had in my house. Ooh.
That toolbox looked like it could hold a hammer and a couple sandwiches and a Coke. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
It was as big as my hand on the wall.
What kind of spider was it?
I have no idea. It was dead spider.
Dead. Okay.
That's the best kind.
My son got it for me, but he was still freaked out. One shot, one kill. You got to get it right.
Yeah, especially for the Huntsman spiders. Yeah, I definitely feel that way. It'd be like if I saw one of those, it'd be like, yeah. So do you guys have phone books here?
Well, we use the barbecue brush.
I don't know what honestly, I mean, I don't know. I probably I let the cheetah kill it.
Fly swatter wouldn't have killed this one. You need something a little bit more oomph to it. Yeah. The bristles got it. I hate them.
I've seen tarantulas out in the wild. Brown recluse, yeah, brown recluse spiders are no joke. Black widows are no joke. When I was 12 years old, I have nightmare fuel. I was working at this yard, and this guy wanted these bricks removed because he was going to do stuff to his driveway. So I went over there and I bent over to pick 2 bricks up, and there were like 8 or 9 adult black widows and thousands of the tiny spiders. Man, I never moved so fast in my whole life. I was like dropping the bricks and moving my ass backwards. And then I went over to get the homeowner. I said, "Listen, you got to come over and see this." We went over there, and there was nary a one, not one. And I was like, I don't know what scared me more, the fact that I saw them or the fact that they disappeared in less than 3 minutes.
They're scared of you. At least they ran.
I was scared of them.
We have rattlesnakes here, so we got to watch out for them. One bit our neighbor's dog.
What kind of spider was it?
It was rattlesnake.
Oh yeah. Did the dog make it okay, or did the dog die?
Yeah, it was a big dog, so it lived. Luckily, if it was the smaller one, it wouldn't have. If it got the Chihuahua, but this was a Mastiff, so it did okay.
I'm sure he wasn't. I'm sure he wasn't feeling very good.
No, he wasn't. Poor thing.
I forget about that you guys had those. You guys have big ass rattlesnakes down in Florida. And you got pythons now too.
Pythons, crocodiles, because we had alligators, but they're like stuff is coming into the Everglades. The python hunt.
I think she froze.
Yeah.
Was that?
Let's see. Brown recluses will make you lose a limb. Yeah, brown recluses are no joke. I know other spiders venom can do that too, but the brown recluse venom works so fast. Yeah, I've seen people with disfiguring bites. They've been bitten on their face, and it disfigured them. June says, "Oh my God, snakes!" Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Gotta love how every spider egg. Yeah. Vanessa's asking, remember the snake in your garage?
I do indeed.
Hey, Rich, how are you, sir?
That was a funny moment.
Rich says spiders don't bother me. No, they don't really bother me either. Snakes, on the other hand, yeah, snakes are not my friend. Let's see. Jim says that Sharkantula is worse. Oh shit.
Maybe, yeah.
What's that one movie they did? They
did Lavalantula.
Huh?
They did Lavalantula.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God.
Two of them. They did two Lavalantula movies.
2 of those movies?
2. Yeah. Part 2 was called Two Lava, Two Lantula.
Oh God. That must have been when Sci-Fi actually was a channel.
Yeah.
Let's see. Bones wants to see the movie again.
And this is what the actual disc looks like.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Yeah, well, it's haunted.
It's the storm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, saying that.
The internet.
Well, hang in there.
So I got back in.
You know what? We're gonna make Sean Blue. We're gonna make a bone show off his collection on Thursday. That's right.
You should.
Let's see. So Martin is. I mean, the only good thing about Martin though is that when he broke his neck, he was paralyzed. so he's not feeling anything. He's paralyzed. So he's lying, he's dying, he's lying helpless on the floor. Spiders appear and eat him alive, and he can't feel it because he's paralyzed.
That's one way to put it. I mean, they get his eyeball, and it's gross.
And bite his tongue or like pierce his tongue or something, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was a really effective scene. I tell you what was really effective was the blood they used there. That shit looked real. That blood looked legit.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I would not be surprised if it wasn't, because as we found out in last week for the Gates of Hell, Fulci was not afraid of using to get his effects. He was not afraid to using, what he had to do. He had that one actress spit up tripe like 12 or 13 times to get the effect. And I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if he had actually used real blood there. The spiders were real, except to the ones where they got to the model, to the dummy. But it still looked very effective. It was a very spooky scene. I mean,
it's like hepatitis.
So when it was an actual person in that scene, that was actually Larry Ray, the assistant guy. Yeah,
Larry.
Yeah. Because he was not afraid of spiders. So they caught all over his hands and stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. If you do ever get this guy right here, there's a really cool documentary with Larry Ray. He talks for like 40 minutes about all kinds of stuff. It's a really cool little documentary.
Man, I've got to look that up. I want to see. I'd like to see if there's anything. I wonder if there's any copies out there that's reasonably priced. I'd like to get that.
It's especially if you're into this movie, like this is the version to get. Like, it really is.
So meanwhile, back at the hotel, because that's where the gates are at. Martha is now cleaning the bathroom in room 36 when somebody pops up. And Al, who shows up?
Our good old buddy Joe.
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 It just kind of pops up, and yeah. And well, Joe ends up killing Martha. Zombie Joe, I guess you say.
Oh, right for the eye, right? Always right for the eye.
Yep. Indeed.
Pushes her head into the nail that the guy was crucified.
Oh yeah, that was wow. That was absolutely brutal. That reminded me of the scene in Zombie.
Zombie, right? Yeah, the door frame.
Right. Classic Fulci. Very effective. I mean, you could definitely tell. I mean, I thought it was a really good effect. I thought that was it's funny though. It's funny though because you have a feeling that Joe didn't know that Spike was there. That was just a spike of opportunity. Okay, so now she's now Joe kills her.
Right.
Meanwhile, John breaks into the old house where Emily is supposed to live. Abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, was that house in New Orleans, Al?
Yes. That one is legitimately in New Orleans. Yeah.
Now, is
that
house
the one in the park? Is that the one in the park?
No. The only thing in the park
is their hotel, right?
The hotel. Yeah. The only thing in the park is the hotel and them on the boats at the very beginning. This one is this house is right. It is still there. It's still there, and it's not too far from transport.
Oh, it's his turn now.
Yeah, it's turned to breeze.
He's invisible.
The bat's frozen.
Oh no!
He's upside down. He's upside down. Quick, turn him up. Turn him up. That's cool that the house is still there. Now, do people? I wonder if people still go there if they know the history of that, or do a lot of people do a lot of movies get use that same location?
I've seen that house in a couple of different movies, but mostly like lower budget stuff, like nothing of this caliber. Put it that way.
Okay. I wonder if people do they ever still talk about the movie being filmed down there? Every once in a while, do they ever bring up as a like, oh, by the way?
Every once in a while, every once in a while.
Okay. So but he does find the book. John finds the house is abandoned, but he does find the book, and he begins to look at it, and he sees what Eliza has explained to him. He sees it in the book that the hotel is apparently one of the 7 gates of hell. Meanwhile, Emily is in the same house that John couldn't find her in, but Emily is confronted in her home by Schweck, and then she starts panicking, and then she starts saying how she doesn't want to go back. She did what she was asked to do. She didn't want to go back. Leave her alone.
Attack, Vicky! Attack, Vicky!
Yeah. She sicks her dog on the corpses, and
Yeah.
Dickie goes wild. And it's just really, really weird how that works. It's like you're still not sure if she's really here or not up till that moment. And then when she says that she's, like I did what she said, she didn't want to go back. Then we realize that she has always been a spirit. She's been a spirit the whole time. It's Dickie.
That's what she's screaming.
Yeah. Did you draw Dickie?
No, I didn't draw Dickie.
Oh, okay.
That's right when she's screaming out.
Right.
Like, no, I want to go back.
Maybe you draw the spiders.
Maybe. Give myself nightmares looking at it. Yeah.
That's right. I think I should have. Oh no! The bat must have saw its reflection.
Yeah. It's stormy down here. Maybe he's getting some storms too.
All right. Who put the garlic in Al's pizza?
Yeah.
Well, he'll be able to join us when he can. So
then I drew the one that you guys did. That one. The Gates of Hell.
That's right.
That was fun.
That's a fun movie.
I like that one.
How long have you been drawing?
Since high school, but just since COVID, I got back into it again.
Let's see.
Improving my skills.
We got some comments here in the chat. Says June mentions Bones saying Joe the Horror Man is in this. Yes, that's exactly who Joe looks like. Joe and Joe the Horror Man are one and the same. Let's see. June mentions that she puts her in that water. Yeah, that was disgusting. I mean, who the hell would do that? Joe got his point across. Yep, definitely so. Let's see. June, we live with funky water.
All right.
Okay, the bat is back.
I'm back.
She was mentioning that Joe nailed it. Yes. That's gross.
Okay.
Yeah, and then a dog chomps down on her neck.
Yeah, that was really weird. You know, Dickie attacks. He manages to fight off all the other spirits, including the warlock. And then when the dog came back, it turned on her. And what they said was it was a symbolism. It was a symbolism kill because she was already blind. And then it showed the dog chewing her throat and then her ear.
Her ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. That was that symbol. It was a symbolism kill, but very effective.
But she could do sign language.
Well, that just shows you. It just shows you. It just proves the point that even spiritual dogs will turn around and bite your ass.
Yeah.
And boy, did he. Yeah, I mean, he just ripped the throat out, the ear, all of it.
Yeah, but now you know what. When you hear that it's like, I think he did defend her. He did defend her, but I think when he bit into the warlock, I think the warlock's evil took over him.
Yeah, because he had blood on him, right? Yeah,
so when
I
he
remember.
went back over there, that really wasn't the dog that was attacking her. It was the warlock through the dog's body. Because I think that's what it symbolized. So anyway, Dickie kills Emily, and so now we're into the final part of the movie, and
with Eliza in the basement.
Yeah.
Eliza goes in the basement.
Yeah.
And then she finds was that Martha's lantern?
Martha. Yeah.
And then that Arthur was down there trying to flex seal the walls, and he got nailed. Poor guy.
Yeah.
He can't stop sweating. He's all nervy. Yeah, and he attacks Liza.
Yeah.
Down there.
And
then she freaks out, right?
I would too. So I don't blame her for freaking out.
Well, he popped out of the water.
Yeah, it popped out of the water, and then he attacked her, and then she started screaming, and then trying to get out of there. You're just wondering that, I think once you get out of there, you just keep running. Like, you know what? I'm not going back there for nothing.
No, the John shows up, and where's he want to go?
He wants to investigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wants to. Well, because now he's found the book. He's read the book, so now he's believing. Right. He's starting to believe what Eliza's been telling him. So and so he says, you know what? I'm going to investigate this a little bit more, and want to see what's going on. And so that's what they're going to do.
What happened to Dickie?
I think Dickie went back to wherever the warlock was. I think he was done. I think he went back he became a hound from hell.
His eyes are white.
Yeah, I felt bad for the dog too. I actually felt bad for them both. But they did. But if you think about this, the warlock, even though he was possessed, even though he had been killed, even though he had been murdered, even though he had killed other people, he did try to warn them through her. He did try, and that's really, if you think about that, that's an interesting dynamic, because he did try to warn them not to go in there, not to he tried to do it by wounding the workers. Of course, he was a little bit more deadly with Joe, but he did try to tell. He sent Emily to warn her. You don't want to do this. And normally in horror movies, it's the opposite. they want you to do that because they want you to open the gates. And I thought it was interesting how that went, that he tried to prevent it. In the end, he tried to prevent it. Hi, Michelle. How are you? But anyway, so now we're in the final act here, and Liza's questioning her own. She's wondering if she's cuckoo.
He says, "Who are you?" or something. Who are you?
Huh?
And John asks who she is. Who are you really? Because the book says that you own this hotel with the 7 gates of hell. Right? And then you got the thunderstorm in the basement.
Yeah, that was crazy, that basement scene. The whole basement just blew up and started shaking the ground. It was almost like you could almost hear the gates opening right there. It's like all the other thing had just been just a pre-show, but once they saw the house shaking and then all the explosions, you got the really simple feeling that's when the gates opened up.
And he read the book. So
Right.
I think that didn't help.
Yeah.
The Evil Dead thing.
If there's one thing I've learned from these movies, if you see an ancient book, do not read that son bitch.
Right.
Do not.
Yeah. This movie only came out 1 year ahead of The Evil Dead. Evil Dead came out in 1982.
It just seems older, doesn't it?
This movie, yeah.
Yeah,
I think this movie feels older because of as small of a budget as Sam Raimi had. Fulci probably had less, and this movie just comes across as a little bit more dated to me than Evil Dead.
But didn't they film the first Evil Dead over a course of like 2 or 3 years as well?
Really? Jesus.
I believe so. Yeah.
So, a lot can happen in 2 years. He can change.
Yeah.
My hair.
But this movie does feel much older than The Evil Dead does.
Yeah, it definitely has that feel. And now I have a bad thunderstorm outside of my house. That's why my internet's in and out.
Okay. See Florida. See Florida give you a gift.
Sorry.
So,
thanks.
You're welcome.
So John and Liza, they pony up and ride to the hospital.
That one painting was bleeding when they ran out too.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. That was the same painting that Emily had put her hands on. Liza put her hands on, and the same thing happened to her.
It started bleeding.
So John grabbed them and went to the hospital, and then at the hospital, and this is where the movie just gets crazy. The only human left in the hospital is Dr. Harris, but he's dispatched rather quickly, and the rest of the hospital is filled with zombies.
But when they left the house, you could see the ghost in the window too. When they left, you could see them in the windows.
When that explosion happened, I think that's when the gates opened.
Yeah, there they are.
That's right.
Was that a New Orleans hospital?
Yeah, was that a real hospital? Was that a real hospital they shot at?
Nope. No. They shot that on Tulane University's campus.
All right, the Greenway. All right.
I thought it looked awful big. Look how tall those hallways are.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's pretty. And the other one. And it's pretty high
and the one thing too that John does, he just happens to go over to an office, and I don't know if his office, whoever's office at a hospital, reaches in and grabs a gun.
Yeah, because they're there all the time.
Yeah, I've been in there all this time. Very conveniently put there.
Because he wants to call the FBI, right?
Yeah, he wants to call the FBI, and of course, now the FBI is no longer the FBI. They're more like food for eye because now the gates have opened up. So the phone, the connections are all gone. I mean, the phone works, but there's no one answering it. And so no, and then they start discovering all these zombies are going around there, and they're
grabbed Liza's hair.
right.
Smashed the window, grabbed her.
So they shoot their way out of it, and then they go down they go down and open the door, and they go down and they find themselves back at the hotel. They're in the hospital. They open the door, they walk down, and then they're in the basement of the hotel.
Well, first they had run into the red-haired girl.
Oh yeah,
red-haired girl. They found her in there, and she's acting creepy.
Yeah, he shot her head off, literally.
Yeah, that was one of the best parts.
Yeah, turn around.
That was fun.
He shoots every zombie in the gut, but that red-haired girl, he had a true problem with. He said, "Bam."
Yeah. Well, I think if she had been taller, that would have been her gut at the same level.
Yeah.
But he turned around and put a bullet in her head and blew her head up.
Yeah, everybody else got body shot, but that girl, he took the whole top of her head off.
Yeah, that was gross. And again, a little different too, because back then in '81, they didn't necessarily kill kids.
Right. Well,
not back then.
They were more apt to do it then though than now.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they do it now, easy.
Oh, and then he finds the one worker in the one room hiding out, because Liza ends up getting stuck on the elevator with the red-haired girl or something.
Yeah, he comes out there, and the one guy's there, and he shoots. First, he shoots him twice in the arm. Then he puts
the one worker he finds hiding out with a cleaver.
Oh, right.
And then some reason it explodes the window, and it like sticks the glass straight in the guy's face.
Yeah, that was Dr. Harris, and he bought the farm.
He sure did.
Yeah, indeed.
So here they come, and they find themselves. They can't believe this is happening, but it is. So they go back down into the basement of the hotel. They find themselves. It's impossible. And then this really, honestly, has to be one of the weirdest endings of any horror movie. And how do you interpret the ending, Mary?
It's just they're Valhalla. They're gone. They must have died. They've traveled on to the next realm.
That's how you see it too.
Yeah, they were in the gate. They passed through the arches.
It was weird. What was weird is how they read they read that, like you too will be, whatever they said it did, the voiceover, and the
It says a sea of darkness and all that can be explored. Something. Face the sea of darkness.
Yeah.
And all that is to be explored within. Or something.
And they land up in that landscape of that painting.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to say this, as far as the acting goes, I mean, this is probably the very best part of the acting. That and for me, the best part of the movie, as far as acting wise, was the scene here, and then the scene where Emily is telling Dickie to attack.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That was she really did come across as being terrified. But this scene, the last scene here, where they're running into that landscape, they looked terrified. I mean, they looked really shaken. Like they played that so well. Turn around.
Yeah, they keep spinning around like maybe if we go this way, but it's the same every time they turn.
Right, right. I'm, June. You know what? I don't know. The ending is it's so weird. It's like, it's so weird because, and again, it goes back to it goes back to the first movie. It's like, you sort of wonder what they did to deserve that. It's like they
Being
had
related.
They just
she was related to him. That's about it. Because I think it's put down from generation to generation, and she was the next generation.
I guess so. I mean, even though but the Swybeck, the warlock, did not own the hotel, but he was killed in the hotel. And yeah, you're probably right. The owners of the hotel, we don't know because they never stated that. Did the owners know what he was and what he was doing? I don't think the owners of the hotel would sit there and watch a lynchman kill
Emily said that all the people in the hotel disappeared.
Yeah.
At one point. So that's probably when he opened the gate. I don't know. And then they killed him.
Maybe they killed him throughout the year. Throughout the years. It would have been interesting to see how the person who had the hotel. I would be interested to see how he passed. How did Emily come to inherit the hotel? What happened to the relative that owned it before? And still, the fact that you're paying for a crime that you had nothing to do with, only because you happen to be of the same bloodline.
I didn't understand the City of the Living Dead's ending with the little boy running. And then I go, no, what's going on?
That was a botched ending. Yeah, that was a botched ending. They initially filmed it so that there was a happy ending, and then at the last minute they switched it, and so they made it seem like it was a scary ending, but it doesn't work because it doesn't work.
Yeah, I was like,
everybody's looking at each other all happy, and they're running toward each other, and then they try to change it, but they didn't have enough film to do it, so they just did a little effect there to make it.
I was like, what?
Yeah, weird.
But they didn't have to do that here. They had time, and they had opportunity to give a proper closing here. I don't know, making them go inside there, turning them into the part of the picture, and then wiping them out, from existence. It's just what, it goes to show that because the distributors had told Fulci that they wanted a lot of zombies in the movie, and the ending, again, it feels totally warped out. Like, this is not the ending that necessarily Fulci wanted, at least with the zombies. I think he wanted the ending in the painting, but the zombies, I think he had a compromise there, and it affects the whole movie though. But the ending's very good. Them running in the picture and getting stuck in it.
He'll wake up in one of mine. He can wake up in one of my pictures.
Right. It would have been. I think it would have been more interesting. I think instead of having them turn around and then and then disappear, I think it would have been more interesting to have them turn around and sort of like to borrow from Stephen King, so to speak. Even though this movie came out before The Shining, but to see them in the picture, like there they are. They're part of the picture. That maybe that would have been, like.
That's what I was thinking. I would have painted them into the picture.
Well, I think them in the picture, to me, it's like they were in purgatory, and then when they disappeared, well, they're no longer in purgatory. You know what I mean? So that's what I got out of it.
Where do you think they went? Do you think they? That's the $1 million question. It's like, did they go? From a strict, speaking from a Judeo-Christian outlook, did they go to heaven or did they go to hell? Because they didn't seem like bad people. So
in the middle.
I don't know. That's a very good question. It's a very good question.
Because the ending's so spiritual. That's the reason I'm asking this, because it's not a got killed by a zombie and you're there's what, it's a spiritual ending. Where'd they go?
Well,
Did they,
since the eyes went to, I'm guessing they went to hell, but
I don't know. But
Yeah, they did have the white eyes,
they
like
did have the white eyes.
Emily and everybody else. The little girl got.
So.
Yeah, I just couldn't. Again, so what did the little girl do to end up to go to hell? I mean, she's just a little girl. I mean, how much damage could she have done to go to hell?
I blame all the acid that was poured on Mom. It got in her eyes.
Yeah, she wanted her eyes poached.
Yes.
Poached.
Yeah. But yeah, there's two things I learned from this movie. Like I said, one, don't read from old ass books. Number one.
And don't trust German Shepherd.
Number two, if there's a freaky blind lady with a dog, listen to what she says.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
I will if I run into one.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you go back to Emily. It's like she did everything she was supposed to do. So, to me, it's like, to me, it's almost like, she got a reprieve, from, like they brought him back from, sort of like that movie Drive Faster with William Fichtner and Nicolas Cage, or Drive Angry. Where they went, where Milton escapes from hell. Now he's, and they send the count.
Amber Heard. Yeah, Amber Heard.
Yeah.
This movie's awesome.
No wonder he's driving angry.
Yeah, he's
like, I gotta get this lady out of my car.
Well, she actually had a kick-ass fight scene in that movie.
She was pretty good in that movie, actually.
Yeah, she really was. But it has the same thing. It's like they he escaped from hell to save somebody's soul. To save that baby, and
right.
And to me, it's like, well, Emily got released, but where did she get released from? Was she okay? So let's say she was released. Let's say she was released from hell, but she did try to warn them. She did what she's supposed to try to do. Did that earn her redemption? Did that should she have been redeemed by trying to save other people's lives? They turned around and they that's what she was told to do.
Yeah. They were the devils, though, so there had to been some angels that would come down and help her out, but no one showed up.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's what happened to to John and Liza at the end. Maybe that's the reason why they disappeared. Instead of being stuck there forever like you think they would have been, they disappeared. I'm thinking maybe
they took Martha's eyes and they took Joe's eyes, so they couldn't, Yeah.
I think they were rescued. Maybe I'm optimistic, but I think the ending of the movie, as the reason why they disappeared, was because they were taken. They didn't do anything to deserve what they were facing. So I do think that they came down and got them, because it's like, why would they be suffering so much for nothing they had no control over?
That's life.
I know it's a deep. That's just how I saw that. I just saw it, as as a way of, okay, they ended up there, but they didn't have to stay there, because I think an angel did come and pick him up out of that picture.
It's totally open to interpretation. That's kind of the awesome thing about this ending.
Yeah, it's one of the best endings. It really is. It's a really warped ending as far as that goes.
At least it makes more sense than the other one.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you could.
It was hate all right to the end. I'm like, what? Come on.
I mean, you could hate this ending, and I totally could get that. Because there's some endings I don't like either. But I mean, at least this one has an ending. It's not definitive, but it's an ending. It's a, you know,
Oh yeah,
it
it's
is,
definitely an ending.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, there he is. Slaughterport's in the house. I was hanging out at his channel last night. He was interviewing Wounded Flesh features. Dan, awesome show last night. Awesome show. Great channel. Let me go drop his channel link in there. Great stuff last night. I'm glad to see you're still alive because you disappeared and we were worried for him. He I'm sure he saw that in the chat. But glad you're here. Glad you're here. We're talking about the Beyond, the ending of the Beyond. Let me drop this link.
I know Bones likes it when I hold these up. So.
I'll have to draw that cover.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good
There's a
one.
lot on that. You got the bodies in the back. You got the ghosts at the top. You got them going through the portrait, the Y. She's got some bad breath coming out of her mouth.
There's a whole lot going on. Yeah.
All right, here's Slaughterport's page right here. If you guys haven't connected, I highly recommend that you do. Highly recommend. It's good times. I had a lot of fun last night. Yeah, I had a lot of fun over there last night. That was a good show.
Cat in the Brain. I haven't seen that one yet.
Lucio Fulci films, yeah. Cat in the Brain, Zombie, Beyond, Devil's Honey, New York Ripper.
Right. Is there a Zombie 2? I mean, it's just Zombie and then Zombie 3? Or...
I still have not seen Cat in the Brain yet. You know I have to see Cat in the Brain.
You haven't seen Cat in the Brain?
No,
of all people.
I know. I was waiting. I was waiting for that. Let's see.
But I'm New York Ripper. I'm a big fan of New York Ripper as well. I think it's very underrated.
I don't think I've seen that one either.
Okay, Gizmo, I've never seen you here before, but I'm going to drop your link anyway. Welcome to the Midnight Society. Feel free to connect with everybody, please.
Indeed. Everybody that's here is awesome. So.
Okay, here's Gizmo's link right here, right there. I'm gonna go ahead and yep, me and video Gizmo, we're already connected, so we highly recommend that you going over there and jump in there and connect with them too. All right, awesome. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, Slaughterport. He dropped some fun stuff. Definitely a good time. Thanks so much, Sean. We're gonna be doing our contest entry tonight as soon as we're done. Some of the weird things about this movie, though, some of the funny. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of trivia about this movie that people drop that just cracked me up. And the one was. When they try to rename this movie to Seven Doors of Death, and then when they ran the final credits on it, they got every actor's name wrong. That was the fun. That I think everybody but Katrina, or Katarina, I think everybody's name was put in wrong. So the final credits rolled. They had the wrong actors playing the wrong parts and credited the wrong way. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's hilarious.
I thought that was. I'm thinking, okay. The video, the box set you got with the commentary. So they did that commentary 2 weeks before David Warbeck, who played John, passed. He died 2 weeks. Yeah, he died 2 weeks after he did that commentary. That's bonkers right there.
It's crazy, yeah.
Who, the
he
doctor?
Yeah.
died. He was dying of cancer, but
Oh,
2
shit.
weeks before, 2 weeks before he had died, they did a
Aw.
video commentary. All right. This new movie is screening in the Netherlands in 9 days. Wow.
Nice.
All right.
It is the one screening before it'll be erased forever. What do you mean erased? Don't you have a distributor? Or is that just how you? That's just how you're gonna do it. Is it a short film? Well, I hate to see that. Work hard on a movie and have it erased.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Thank you, Al.
that stinks.
All right, everybody subbing to Slaughterport. Digging that. Thank you so much. So of course, Katrina McCall, she went on to do The House by the Cemetery, and that's the only one I have not seen yet. And
Yeah,
that
what's
one
that
there,
one?
that's gonna be like a lot more of a personal movie than it is a huge, like a Gates of Hell or this movie. I think they faced their demon one on one, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since I've seen it. I have to rewatch.
There's a lot of references to this. There's a lot of references to different movies. In Spider-Man 2 in 2002, part of the Beyond was seen in the nightmare where Peter Parker's actually got bit by the spider. And he goes home and he's nightmaring, and a glimpse of the Beyond is in his nightmare.
Yeah, I think like 2 seconds made it or something like that.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. I was thinking, okay, the movie's been sung about by a couple of bands. There's just a ton of crazy credits in here. I'm just like, I was blown away by what I was reading them. Like, I didn't know Europe had actually made a song about the movie, and they still played in a concert.
Nice. That's
now,
awesome.
Yeah. I didn't know this either. I didn't know that Katrina McCall was still with us. For some reason, I thought I didn't know that she was, but she's still with us.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think she's in her late 60s now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably still beautiful.
She was beautiful, wasn't she?
Mm-hmm.
So on here, there is an interview with her from, I think, 2010-ish. She still looks amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Where does she live at? Did they mention where she lives at now?
No. I just know she's from England. That's all I know.
Yeah. I just never seen. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything in English.
Just badly dubbed Italian movies.
So next week, we will be heading back on over to Al's channel, and for the conclusion of the Al's House by the Cemetery.
Really?
Yes, I'm pretty excited about that, and we should probably just mention the other news too while we're here, because that way people know. So this is going to be the conclusion of our trilogy here, and then our favorite Bat House, a small announcement.
I thought we were waiting until next week.
Well, because I want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody what we're doing for September. So we're going to be doing X on the 4th. Me and an all-star cast. See, I'm sorry. Monty G will be with us to talk about that, and our good friend Ben from Cadaver Club and Ken from Mid-Level Media will all be joining us on our panel as we take a deep look at X And then after that, on the 11th, the Midnight Society, we're going badass action. We are covering the John Wick movies. That's right. John Wick will be covered here.
All three of them.
That's right.
Nice.
All three John Wick movies are going to be covered in September. That's right. We're that's going to be fun. That's going to be a fun series to do. Here's the shocker. I have all three movies. I've had them for a while. I have never watched them. So this will be
I've
a
seen
first
3. I didn't watch
Yeah,
2 and 1. I watched 3.
Nice.
Let's see.
I'm starting backwards.
Yeah,
The-
that's right. Yeah, I have a good as aim as a stormtrooper.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, pew 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 pew
Pew,
pew.
pew.
Oh, you got
Okay.
me. So if you guys are, we're taking this. We're not taking. We're not going away from horror. With how this is in the Midnight Society. We do both. We're doing we do some horror, then we bounce back and do some fun action scenes. You never know what we're doing.
We just do awesome movies. That's all.
Yeah, we do awesome movies. We're already working on October. We already know what one movie we'll be talking about in October, but you'll have to wait. But it's a movie that I've been looking forward to seeing. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, and I think we'll be joined by a special guest for that show too. I got to put out a feeler. I'm sure that person will jump at the chance to come out and hang out and talk about this movie with us. And yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be a fun time, and we hope that you guys all will show up for that. Al, what do you got going for your channel this week, my friend?
If I can get it out, I do have a Bayview review coming for Tubi Tuesday. If I can get it out in time.
What's the review of?
It's called The Mill, Mill, by Bayview Entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
About Bayview Entertainment?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that's a documentary.
No, it's from Bayview.
Oh, from Bayview. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yep.
And anything else?
That and then next Saturday. As of right now, next Saturday, the watch along I was supposed to do today is actually going to be next Saturday at 3 p.m. and it's going to be the Beach Girls and the Monster. And my special guest, and my special guest is going to be Jim's Retro Emporium from jolly old England.
Gizmo mentions here. Check out my movies. If you hate them, I would love to be on your channel to get crap. Nice to listen to you guys in the background while I write. Well, I'm sure we'll dig your movies. We'll definitely go over there. We'll definitely go over and check it out for sure. In fact, I probably should even have you slide on. Maybe we'll do a night. Maybe we'll take them out. I take it you do all horror movies, right? If you do all horror movies, then I'm sure we can talk to you about coming in on October and talking about your movies for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have anything other than I got a Tubi Tuesday, which I'm ending the end run of A Man Called Hawk.
Man Called Hawk, baby.
Yeah, I only got. I'm down to 3 episodes.
Wow.
I only got 3 episodes left. I did all 13.
It's going by so quickly.
It did. I thought I was going to be doing Fantasy Island after that, but I put the poll up. And right now it looks like I will be doing Tucker's Witch, which is not a bad second choice because I love Tucker's Witch. Because I admit I always had a crush on Catherine Hicks. I've always thought she was just the cast me out. Yes, Rich. That's the Hawk. Manfred Hawk is the one with Avery Brooks. And from Spencer for Hire and the reunion movies. Yeah, he. Well, some of the reunion movies. They try to
Robert,
get
you're
Ernie Hudson to play him in a couple of movies, and I like Ernie Hudson, but he ain't no Hawk. Nope. Nope. Let's see. No.
I went and got this blown up today.
Oh, there you go.
I drew that one.
Godspeed, Gizmo. I'm sorry.
I drew that one.
That's really cool. I like the shadow too. That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I went and got a free 8x10 at Walgreens today. It was some code you put in as email only, and you got a free 8x10.
Nice.
So I get my pictures done there. I get a free one every now and then.
That's awesome.
Well, I've been doing.
Rich mentioned Spencer for Hire spinoff. Reunion movies. I'm a Deep Space Nine fan, and Avery was amazing in it. Yeah, Cisco's my favorite captain of Star Trek. Yeah, he's my favorite captain of them all. That guy's a badass. Cisco was a badass, and he's not bombastic either. We will be wrapping this up. Before we go, we will be talking to. I got to mention this because I didn't do it last time. In fact, I should go ahead and drop a link. That will probably be very helpful. We will be zipping on over to Gory B Movies channel tonight. If you are after we're done here, she is still doing her battle royale. And tonight is the battle of the slasher. So basically, she's putting the very worst of the best of the worst slasher movies, slashers, and having them slashed to the death. So that's what's going on her channel tonight. So as soon as we wrap it up here, I'm dropping the link down if you want to go over to Gory's channel. If you do, come on in. Just tell them that the cat and the bat sent you. That would be awesome if you guys could do that. So there it is. Just go over there, put the cat in the bat raid, and that's what I'll meet you over there in a couple of minutes, and then we'll check it out. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for your connections, and thank you guys so much for your support. We couldn't do it without you. We really couldn't do it without you, and it's a lot of fun. And we will see you next week on Al's channel for House by the Cemetery. Thanks for coming, and we will talk at you next week at 8 o'clock. Peace.